Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of the RPCast, otherwise known as the Ronzo and Pugcast. Today's, what the fuck is our theme today? What is our
Internet
theme
sex.
Today? Internet sex. Something like that. It's IC relationships, in-game relationships between your character and another one. I think it's a terrible idea, and I'm also a massive hypocrite, but that's nothing new. Everybody knows that. Joining us today is Drake Griggs. I don't know anything about him, but his voice is absolute sex. And secondly is Val. Who's been on before, helped co-lead, blah, 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 Pack 53rd, blah, blah, blah. My character's IC Waifu, making me, yes, a hypocrite. Why don't you guys say hi, but, one at a time.
Hello.
Hey,
I said one at a time.
we tried.
Yeah. Off to a rocking start here.
Lion,
We can't always have what we want.
We
Nope.
can't. I wanted Lion gone weeks ago, but here he is.
Oh, well, I was going to ask the first question, but now there's just a Google Doc and there's a giant picture of Steve Urkel.
Oh, God, this is so meta. We're telling people how we do things.
Well,
Spoilers.
yeah. How do you think we keep track of week-long questions?
Well, you struggled through that sentence a little bit, but it's okay. I'm going to let you get the first question out, buddy.
Oh, well, which one are we asking first? Because
I don't know. How about the first one on the fucking... Just read it.
There's
Just
two
read the
number
first question.
ones.
Pick whichever one you like more.
What do you guys think about RP marriages?
I hate them. I think okay. The guest should answer because I'm very passionate about this.
Start with
And I
Drake.
also like hearing my own voice. Yeah, Drake, answer this question.
Sweet. Well, actually, I have a character who is currently RP married.
Oh, you poor fool.
No. It works out great. You just have to have a lot of communication between your partner, your roleplay partner. And I haven't had any problems with it. They've been married for like a year now.
So what's internet sex like? Because I don't get it.
It's a lot of finger work. A lot of finger work.
That was a pun.
Yeah,
you gotta put on the gloves.
Yep.
You don't want to sprain your fingers. You got to work them out on occasion.
Stretch them.
What do you think, Val? I know your character's married to someone pretty all right.
I don't think she's here. Tom,
No,
open.
I don't know. Like, obviously, I have one character that's married, one character that was engaged, which I recently decided to break off after talking to the person and found out that they're not going to return to the game. And they said if I wanted to break it off, that was fine. But I think if both parties have discussed it and know for how long that they want the marriage to last for their characters, and they go over their expectations and their intents, I think they should go for it. I'm married in real life. I have a 9-month-old, and it was fun planning a wedding without all the real life stress and drama.
Without actual dollar signs.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Well, your husband does have a rather large penis. What's the next question on the list?
I can see it out the window.
No, my boy Rob's potent.
I'm pregnant.
I'm pregnant too. We're all pregnant.
You just don't know it yet.
Okay, so I guess we'll move on because fucking everyone answered that question super easy. We shouldn't have led with that. Actually, no, we should have led with that. That was a good question to ask, Lion. Well done. Maybe you can stay. I'm just kidding. So,
waifu senpai?
So let's actually expand on something that both of you just said just now. I was just wondering, because we were talking about the OC communication, how important is it? Like, how much do you think you should have? Is it, if you have way too much communication, does it kind of take it away from things? Do you not expect things as much? Do they not feel as natural? What do you guys think?
Well, it's nice to stay in sort of like a constant communication, not like to a point where it's like overbearing, but just where you have like a sense of background, like what happens off screen, sort of. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say like every day you gotta like role play and stuff. Just feel it out and feel how often you want to role play with your partner to make it feel where it's not boring and like the same old thing every day.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know that. I play assholes all the time. So.
Well, I do too, but I just do it better than you do.
No, I just play really, really bigger assholes than you, like gaping.
My asshole is the biggest. Like gapes way more than yours does.
Oh my god. This is why we go to counseling.
This is why we go to counseling. But let's not talk about our real relationship. Let's keep talking about Val's fake one with my character. Go on, Val. Answer the question.
I don't know. I'm pretty much in the same boat as Drake. You know, there always has to be a lot of communication. For me, it almost takes more communication because you don't have a lot of that face-to-face or like voice contact. So a lot of things don't get portrayed in text, and so you have to go to the extra mile to fully explain everything. And you know, you have to, like I was saying earlier, you have to set your expectations and your limits. If somebody decides to quit the game, I give them about 6 months before I have my character move on. But that's because I am really slow at making connections and networks.
I'll keep that in mind.
But I always make sure that I have a way to contact that person out of character. Like with Val's now former fiance, like I still talk to
Wise
him
decision.
On Skype every now and then. And so when he told me that he wasn't going to play the game anymore, we fully discussed, like, you know, what to do with our characters.
Come on, Val, stop dropping shit.
Tommy's like playing with stuff.
Control your fucking kid.
Why hasn't he have a job yet?
Why hasn't he moved? When I ask someone to come on the goddamn podcast, I expect professional goddamn demeanor. Throw your kid in the trash for the next fucking 40 minutes until we're done. Let him think about what he did.
Well, he kind of smells like garbage right now because, yeah. Anyway.
That's because you live in Detroit.
That too. But I don't know, like, you know, if I try and get a hold of the person and after a month goes by and they haven't replied, I just break it off because I figure they probably don't care at that point. And, you know, to expect somebody to carry on a marriage when a player doesn't play the game and shows no interest in returning is kind of unreasonable in my opinion.
Yeah, what a
dick. Yeah. I know the topic of RPing children in relationships also came up.
Well, fucking
control your Raptor.
Throw
please.
that kid in the goddamn trash. Oh my god. Also,
Special guest Tommy.
Let me ask my own fucking questions. Thank you.
Fine, go ahead.
Tommy's giving his opinion on this question.
I was going to ask much more smoothly and fluidly than you did about how do you guys prefer to do the finer details when it comes to this? Like, how long do you usually have your character wait before showing interest? How, you know, kids, yes or no? Obviously no, because Val's won't shut up, and that should be a lesson to everyone listening.
Batista bomb
everything. You know, who gets to decide all this stuff in these relationships? Is there any hinder? What about, you know, does your character stalk? Like, all that stuff. I want to know how you guys do it per character. Let Val answer first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Because I'm upset with her, and I know this makes her nervous.
Shut up. The RPing children takes a lot of communication and discussion out of character also. Obviously, both parties have to consent, and they need to be fully aware of what goes on into raising kids. There's been a few times where I've seen people RP children, and I just bash my head onto my desk.
Why would anybody ever want fucking kids?
You got fucking baboos.
Shut up, Lion. I'm speaking.
No. You don't talk to me that way.
But it's also something that they have to consider that they're up to doing, because you're RPing multiple characters at once, and sometimes it's easy to forget and hard to juggle. So, like, you'll start out an RP and be like, oh, yeah, my character has her little baby with her. And then, like, an hour or two after the RP has started, you part your ways and you're like, shit, I forgot I put my baby down.
I'm the best mother.
And to just say that she picked the kid up is god modding. You don't want a god mod.
Yeah, and if there's an out of character fallout between you and your partner, and you don't enjoy RPing with that person anymore, then you need to tell them that, and that you're breaking off the relationship. Like, don't continue to RP with somebody that makes you feel uncomfortable.
I hate our fake love child.
Takes precedence.
I got some bad news for you then, honey.
As for stalking, If it happens in game,
less stalking and more like how does your character, go about wooing the other person. I just, for whatever reason, the first thing I thought of was Charlie Day in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is just that's how he gets ladies, as he stalks them. Kind of like Lion.
It hasn't worked for me yet, but I'm getting close.
Like literally close. He's getting closer to them every day.
You smell different when you're awake.
Hey, Drake, answer the question I asked earlier.
Sounds great.
So we don't have to acknowledge Lions here.
Let's see. So, in regards to the whole children thing, what I've always kind of done is sort of do rolls for it. So you kind of like look up.
Roll for how potent your seed is.
Yeah, basically, like I think I roll like a D100 on rolls.org, and if it's like 75 or higher, it's kind of like a yes, or anything lower is kind of a no. And it adds a little bit of realism to it, especially if, you do that sort of scene out and it sort of works that way. But as far as pursuing some sort of relationship, I don't know. It's just, I've never like set it up that way on purpose. So it's like planned. They've all sort of just happened to work into it. So it was never anything that was like set in stone before I went and roleplayed it. So it just happened to work that way.
Mm-hmm. See, I think people should avoid IC relationships at literally any cost because they're more trouble than they're worth.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't have to avoid them. Nobody just wants to talk to you.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm going for it either. Shut up.
That's fair. I will shut up. Because you're asking the next question.
Oh, what?
You have to pick which number 2 you want to read. Look how meta we are. Just blatantly
number
just
2.
saying fuck
Number
the
2.
rules.
Wow, that second one is it's a long one.
God, ask a question.
So, why do you think so many IC relationships are of the same sex? Just preferences? Don't answer all at once, please.
Well, I don't want to answer because my answer would offend people. Well, actually, it wouldn't. I haven't seen it. I don't know where that question's coming from because
it's the second Scrub
I haven't
one.
seen any. I can see where the question is, Lion. I don't know where it's coming from, though. Anyway, Val, you answer. I want to hear.
That's the second question. Tell me to ask a question. I'll fucking do it, and you bitch at me.
Oh my god, I'm so sick of you. I'm so fucking sick of you. Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up.
You're the reason I'm on meds.
You're the reason I'm paying for your meds. Shut.
Oh my god.
All right, you want me to read the whole question?
I'll read the question because you clearly can't fucking hack it. Yeah, go ahead, read the question.
All right. So the whole question. Somebody gave us this question, and we put it in the Google Doc, and it says, "Why do you think so many IC relationships are same sex? Is it wanting to play something different, or do you think there are other reasons? What about interspecies relationships?"
All right, for me, for same-sex relationships, I certainly think it's in the majority of relationships that you see. But I think it's due to a combination of things. And I've noticed in quite a few games how the same-sex characters kind of dominate the scene. It's not just a Guild Wars issue. And I'm certain a lot of people do it just to RP as like a change of pace. I've known some people that they do it because they think they won't get as many out-of-character creeper whispers. And some probably do it as their way of supporting the LGBT community. As far as like the interspecies, as far as the interspecies relationships, in the Guild Wars universe, I can't really understand like sexual interspecies relationships, but I can understand if those have more of an asexual aspect to it.
Whoa! Yeah!
But basically, so long as you aren't creating like interspecies hybrid babies, I'm fine with it because we know that interspecies
it's like
babies
happen. It's the in-game equivalent of somebody fucking a horse. Or
Tommy's part raptor, so
throw that kid in the trash where it belongs. But then let him out.
You're so lucky. I know you're joking.
And then let him out and tell him to get a job.
Oh my god.
All right, so Dre, go ahead and answer if Val's child will politely be silent.
All right. So, let's see. In character relationships, same sex. I don't really. I've never seen like a huge amount of relationship roleplay, anyways. At least not in the Reach, and I can't say I've seen some sort of abundance of same-sex ones over non-same-sex ones. I mean, I guess it's just whatever they want to roleplay. Most people tend to play a lot of female characters, so I imagine it has a lot to do with that.
I didn't actually think it was. I didn't know it was that much of a thing until literally just now.
Yeah.
And this question was asked. Mostly because I don't role play a lot in the city because I can't stand being around the common folk, and like the lower class plebeians. But I honestly didn't know that was a thing. Like the interspecies, yeah, you get that everywhere, and like whatever, that's what you're into. Do your thing. Just please don't make it obnoxious and in the middle of everything. But at the same time, please keep your filthy interspecies roleplay away from me, you filthy plebs.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I'm waiting for. I thought you had more to say. Okay, so
we're so amateur, it hurts.
No, that's pretty good. It's pretty good because I could do this professionally, but you fucking people are holding me down.
Yeah, we're holding you back from the real fight.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm holding your weave.
Oh.
Don't touch my weave. I spent a lot of money on that.
Yo, bitch, fuck your weave.
So, if you guys see like a friend or a fellow player involved in what it seems to be like an IC-OC relationship situation that could get ugly, like either IC-ly or OC-ly, and would you say stuff to them? Should you say something to them? What do you guys think? That's what this question asks. Anonymous wants to know.
No means no.
Go ahead, Drake. You can answer.
I mean, if it's some sort of like former knowledge you have, and it's to one of your friends, you kind of want to notify them of like what that guy or girl kind of does.
Yeah, you got to get your bros back.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want someone like jumping into the volcano without knowing what they're going to do.
Yeah,
but
no one really knows what a volcano does.
No, I mean, yeah, you're just gonna explode and catch on fire and shit. But yeah, I think you just gotta tell your friend, or pretty much if you know someone's just like crazy and out there, you might want to like warn even people you just see role playing with them. As mean as that sounds, it's kind of like most people shouldn't have to go through any sort of abuse or like mental games that some people try to play.
I mean, I think that's 100% accurate, which is why I mostly just tell people don't get involved in IC relationships, because the theme that we always come back to every week is people are fucking stupid and people are fucks. And most people are fucks. Some people aren't, like Val, mostly, when her kid's not screaming. But, not everyone's like that, which means, it can really fuck up like your character or what your character's story is when they get caught into something like that.
I'm the minimal level competent.
You're the minimum. Val, answer the question. Answer the question so it doesn't seem like I'm stammering for time.
Okay. I don't know. It's kind of a tricky situation, and it depends, on the severity of the situation. And like Jake was saying, like if you're unsure about the situation in general, you need to talk to the person that you think is being taken advantage of and find out if it's IC or out of character or both, and express your concerns in a calm and collected manner. And if it's in character, ask if this is, something that was planned out. And, because some people like to role play, the darker sides of life. And so, it could be a viable role play. If it's happening out of character, though, then you need to talk to them and find out if that's something that they've been kind of feeling as well, or if it's just a case of not knowing the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, because it's also weird because, like, if you see something that, like you see whoever, like your friends, I see significant other doing something, like, you know, it's always weird on how to handle that. Because, like, I would imagine, like, Lion's character would come up to Ronzo and be like, hey, yo, I saw Kate hanging out in the sun with Tyrese Washington. You got to get on that. And, like, I think it's a weird, like, it makes really weird situations because, like, if you bring it up O'Sealy, then, you know, you kind of look like a dick for thinking, like, that person would go that route and do something like that. That's what I think. And in my opinions probably matter more than most people's. Right, Lion?
Yeah.
Lion, ask the next question, Lion. That was your fucking cue?
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at Overwatch butts. I'm sorry.
Oh
shit! Can you send me that? Can
No.
we pause this? Can we pause this podcast for like 2 minutes?
4 days till Overwatch, boys.
And Val.
No, she wanted them boys. That boy.
Read the fucking question, Lion.
If complaints are brought up by another, you know, from your member or like, complaints are brought up by members.
I hate this episode so much.
It's worded really badly. I'm sorry.
Who wrote these questions?
This is Colona's question.
Oh, no longer allowed to ask questions on the podcast.
I'm sorry, Colona, but this is worded really badly. So I'm gonna ask a different question.
Oh my god, do you want me to read the question?
It's worded badly. Who screens these callers? Someone's gonna get fired. All right, I'm going for this. Okay. Let me see.
Oh my god.
So, do you guys think that there is a point when you have an IC relationship where the lines might begin to blur between IC and OC? And at what point do you think you should, what warning signs do you see? At what point do you think you need to actually sit that person down OC and be like, okay, look, you need to put some chill on this, sir, or madam, depending, my lady?
Well, you should always be communicating out of character throughout the entire duration of your character's relationship anyway, in my opinion. And you need to make sure that you're comfortable role playing with that person in a non-relationship capacity first. You need to make sure your boundaries are kept clear. Never jump into a random relationship RP with somebody that you're not comfortable with. And that you're not familiar with, like, how they RP, what their out of character personality is. Like, simple stuff like that can really help a person find a suitable roleplay partner for relationships. As for where the line between in character and out of character kind of merge, it really depends on a person's opinions and views. Some people consider certain IC topics or actions off limits due to their out of character beliefs, which is totally fine, but the other party should respect that. You don't really want to make somebody uncomfortable. However, if you feel that those
all anal
lines,
all the time.
if you feel like those lines are beginning to blur, though, like, you should speak with them as soon as possible about it and make sure that when you do talk to them, that you both have lots of time and aren't distracted by anything, like a little 9-month-old child, when trying to discuss something like that.
Well, if he had a job, he wouldn't be distracting you.
Yeah, but, like, the warning signs vary from person to person depending on what they feel qualifies as those in real life only relationship things. What's okay with one person might not be for another. The basic warning signs are the same warning signs that you experience in real life when somebody shows interest in you, flirting, wanting to get to know you better, stuff like that. But keep in mind, like, this isn't always a bad thing. I've known quite a few people that have successfully met their real life significant others through MMOs and RP. Not everybody that wants to get to know you is an out of character stalker. If they aren't showing any, like, obsessive signs, you might be okay. But always follow your gut and your personal judgment. If you're finding your out of character significant other, or if finding your out of character significant other online isn't what you're looking for, and you feel like they're getting the wrong idea, then you need to let them know that and make sure those lines of communication are clear. Preferably, this should be addressed, like, from the very start of discussing if you want your characters in a relationship.
Oh my god. But yeah, I was gonna say
one last thing. Like, keep in mind, like,
fuck myself.
Go fuck yourself. I'm not done yet. Also keep in mind that being polite is not flirting. I've had people confuse politeness for flirting. Luckily, it's only been on an icy level, but yeah, in the end, follow your gut. And if you get an uneasy feeling, talk with them and distance yourself if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to get there because Val's been following all my shit on Facebook, and it's really fucking weird. Like, she keeps liking all of my pictures from like 3 years ago. It's like, come on now.
I liked all your pictures from 3 years ago.
No, you didn't. I never added you on Facebook. I don't like you.
You think you didn't add me on Facebook, but
Drake, I'm sorry that you had to sit through Val's rambling, but you can talk now.
Sweet. Well, I think she did a pretty good job at getting her point across.
Don't tell her that.
Okay, I'll work on not telling her that. But I think she's pretty spot on with what she said. I didn't really hear anything that I needed to add or change about that. A lot of it's just about communication and just being really open and upfront with what you want and what you expect with like a relationship role play scenario. Yeah, I know some people that's a big concern with lines blurring and having to break someone's heart, quote unquote, because they overreact or take in character feelings out of character. But yeah, you just have to be really upfront and like you have to stand your ground, and you can't just like fall into it and be like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, because then you're gonna end up having to deal with the situation a lot worse than what it currently was.
yeah, I mean, it can be a little difficult. Like, I'm when the line blurs a lot, especially when you're like, "Hey, yo, girl, put these pine cones in your butt," and she doesn't do it, and it
that
upsets
makes
me.
Admittedly difficult when she doesn't do it. Is that really what you were going to say?
Yeah.
I was so excited that you actually picked up the fucking buck for once, and that's why you picked it up, so you could say that and derail everything. Fuck you. Fuck everything.
You guys derail each other.
I'm so upset with this. I need a new co-host.
Nah.
Drake, take over. Be my new bae.
Nah.
All right, I'm answering these questions out of whack. Or
I'm
asking
the worst you're ever
gonna
get.
You fucking tell me about it. All right. So on an OOC level, when you guys are doing stuff, if you're IC, like in public or outside of public, or fucking, I guess in private would be the term for that. But do you guys ever feel like limited in your character's IC responses because you're afraid of what people might think out of character? Like PDA or like association to any kind of role playing group that your character's partner might be in. I'm sure everybody knows the one I'm talking about, but I won't name anything.
Drake can go first, seeing as I kind of rambled on the last one.
Yeah, for fuck's sake, Val, let the man with the beautiful voice speak.
Well, all right. I think coming from me, I've never had a character who was like overly PDA in cities or anywhere in public, but I think there is kind of like a fine line where you get to like this point where it gets a little too much, and then where it's like acceptable. I guess it's kind of like anything you would actually do in public is okay, but what you do kind of behind closed doors should stay behind closed doors, even in role play. You do have some people who may not be of the age of 18 seeing a lot of this, so you just kind of have to keep that in mind, and you want to kind of keep the PDA to like an appropriate level, I guess I would say.
Yeah. Oh, obviously. That's good. We could probably have a whole other fucking podcast on what goes
I
when
don't
you go a
wanna.
little bit too. Shut up! You're not invited anyway.
Good.
Okay. Val, take the
I'll
ball.
have my own podcast.
Please speak so I don't have to fucking hear
blackjack and hookers.
Oh.
For me, it's yes and no. When I make a character, I usually have some base of a personality that I want and have in mind for them. So I always make sure that I'm comfortable RPing all aspects of them when I make a character, because why would I create a character that I'm not comfortable with? It requires a certain amount of common sense and common courtesy, as well as awareness. For me, like a little peck on the cheek or the lips with no tongue is fine in public, but a quick butt grab is fine. But like huge like makeout sessions and heavy petting should be done in private channels. Like it's okay to simply emote so and so is making out in the corner, whatever, but don't do explicitly detailed stuff. We don't know where we don't want to know where your hands are, what your tongue's doing, or what your pants may be doing.
Pants continue.
Exactly. Also, people I was wondering if Ronzo would pick up on that one.
My microphone was muted. You didn't hear my initial burst of laughter.
No. But also, like, I know I've answered this question for a couple people before, but people from other countries need to kind of vaguely keep in mind the differences in popular culture. ANET is mostly an American-based company. And in America, any sexual related contact with somebody under the age of 18, even if it's online, is a federal crime. So if you come across an American that's kind of touchy on that subject, that's probably why. Because Americans are the country's frickin' prudish because of our Puritan foundings.
When did we get you're fully what? What country do you live in?
America.
America.
And I'm married to an English and history teacher, so eat shit.
Tell him that he needs to build a wall
around your house.
Hey, Lion, ask the question I told you to in private whispers.
Okay. Is it possible to have an RP relationship that wrecks a guild plot?
Kind of like cliquish stuff, secluding something that ruins shit.
Oh yeah. No.
I can fucking name one right now. And it literally just happened 2 weeks ago. Lion did it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, basically the crux of the question is it possible for like a guild, like an IC relationship, to kind of derail a guild in the current line they're on by, a lot of times people will go, kind of seclude themselves and become more of a clique when they, get more involved with each other's characters like that. So go ahead. From there, you guys go on and finish my otherwise perfect thought.
All right. I don't think it happens often, but it's definitely possible if the plot runner doesn't have like a backup plan. As far as people secluding themselves, it really depends on the person. I've seen some people that can't balance it, and they do seclude themselves. But I've also seen people that can pull it off really good, and they can multitask.
God bless those people. God bless.
I think it definitely can. For instance, Lion's character going around and being a fucking sleazeball made everybody want to fight themselves in our guild last week.
Yeah,
fighting each other.
Local man ruins everything.
Local man ruined everything. That's true. Drake, speak, please.
It only takes one man.
Well, to expand on that a little bit, I've never been in a guild where a roleplay relationship has ruined the guild plot, but I do see how that is fairly possible. I mean, when you have a guild leader or guild officer dedicating a lot of their time to their private roleplay, it certainly could harm the guild's plot and the guild's roleplay. I imagine that would probably also hurt attendance and visibility because people would lose interest if you're dedicated your time to spending it in Salma.
Well, Salma is the place to go.
Salma's sticky.
Salma is sticky.
They need janitors.
I thought you said genitals.
You can't pay any man.
They have plenty of that.
You can't clean shame.
You remember that scene from Daddy Daycare where Eddie Murphy goes into the bathroom after the kid said he missed, and he just looks around with this disgusted look? That's anyone entering the doors of Salma, and they're just like, "What the hell?"
So, I'm gonna change this next question because we kind of talked about this earlier, and I'm just gonna expand on it. What do you do? What do you personally think you should do when your character's in a relationship that gets abusive on a strictly IC level?
Batista bomb.
Yeah, when your character walks into their house and their husband or wife Batista bombs them out of nowhere, or RKOs them. But I like Batista bomb more because Batista's got a giant penis. What do you
Randy
think?
Orton, no.
Drake, answer this question in the most seductive tone you can.
Seductive tone. Well, let's see. I think that as long as it's kind of discussed beforehand, that's sort of the pivotal moment. I don't see why someone would want to roleplay that out a ton, but that'd be kind of one of those things
You and
that
me
I'd
both,
be like,
sister.
this happens in the dark. It happens when the screen's not on. But I don't know. I've never been in a situation where that's been a prominent theme between two roleplay partners.
I never have either. I've never really seen it. I don't like the questions this week. Everybody listening, get better questions next week, you bastards. Also, Val, you talk now.
Oh, thanks.
We're falling apart. This whole thing's falling apart, and it's not my fault.
I'm with Drake on this one. If it's purely IC, I mean, as long as it's, communicated out of character ahead of time, both parties agree that they want to address this certain dark issue with their characters, whatever. It's when if it gets into out of character that it gets scary real fast. And if somebody sees, you also have to be aware of where you're role playing this. Make sure you keep it to private channels, especially if you don't want people to be like approaching you and be, legitimately concerned that maybe, these icy things are being fueled by an out of character thing. Because that's just hell in a handbasket. But I mean, I'm with Drake. Like, if I were to do any type of dark situation with my character, in that regards, I'd do it off screen.
All anal all the time, right?
Right. Yeah, off screen. Use lube, please.
Don't be a goddamn coward.
Bite the pillow. I'm going in dry.
Yeah. God damn it. I'm so sick of lying. Every time he speaks, my butt just clenches because I want to kill him.
You can't quit me.
I could fucking try.
Yeah, I come back like a heart attack, bitch.
Okay. So, more on that. What we were talking, not the heart attack or butts or anal. I guess more on something else entirely.
Get the Grand Mac at the McDonald's right now. Your local McDonald's.
Are we plugging McDonald's? Are we getting paid for this?
No.
But
the Grand Mac looks fucking ridiculous. It's 2 burgers.
I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of
That's real love right there. It's burgers.
Ugh. So I just touching more. Like, at what point would you think that you need to OOCly? Like, at what point when you start seeing stuff, would you say you need to like OOCly put your foot down? I think we touched on this earlier, but more of a direct question. Like, is it like when you get bored of it, or like you start seeing them do something, or maybe it's kind of like it's just not working? Somebody answer this question as I try to drag this podcast through out of the mud.
We're supposed to leave the mud?
Shut up.
All of the above, really. I mean, if you're not having, if you're not getting any character progression out of it anymore, if it's not interesting anymore, if things are going sour and you are starting to feel uncomfortable, those are all reasons to just call it quits right there. Talk to the person out of character and be like, I can't do this anymore. We need to stop, or we need to figure out an alternate way. Like, it's just flat out communication.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like, anything that is troubling or it's just a red flag for you, you just have to be adamant about it, and you have to stand up for yourself because, you're here to play a game and enjoy it. This isn't a job, it's your hobby,
Yeah. I definitely, for me, one of the a red flag is when the partner keeps coming into your podcast and has your fucking kid scream in the background. That's the worst.
We're dragging this in the IC.
We're blurring the lines. But yeah, I mean, definitely, like, because I try not to talk about it that much because I really don't care. Like, I kind of lucked out when, like, with Val, and like, I avoid IC relationships, like, to play, and Val's just like super cool and super chill, and her and I, we just get along well. but like usually, like I always think after a certain point, the other person, like someone goes a little bit crazy in one of these things, and then it just like they kind of drags like each other down. And it always, because I've seen it, it's happened to me. It's happened. I've watched it happen to a bunch of people where people literally have to end up leaving the guild or the game or the guild or both because like of how badly it ruined their character or their reputation. And
Yeah.
it's like that's tension. That's why I tend to avoid it. That's literally my entire opinion on this whole podcast. I've already said it, and I'm going to say it again. I personally think it's all.
It all just goes back to the golden rule. Don't be a cunt.
Don't be a fuck, but I like that one. That's the bronze rule. Don't be a cunt.
Well,
silver rule. We haven't discovered the silver rule yet.
I was gonna say, what's the silver?
The silver. You have to find out. If you guess it, I'll let you know, and you win a door prize.
Don't be a shit.
Sounds great.
Yeah, and well, I mean that also kind of leads into like the, like out of character stalking. Like if it happens in game to where you're starting to feel uncomfortable and like
that's a good point. Yeah, so when you start to see something like that with a character that your character's not really involved in, but you start seeing them showing up where you are, they're just sending you a ton of whispers and like they're being super friendly, but it's starting to get weird. What do you do, Drake, when I start showing up and following you around in game?
Let's see. Well, I would first address the person who's doing like the stalking and kind of ask them like, what's up? Why you keep magically appearing where I am? How do you know where I am? That sort of thing. But I mean, if it gets to a level to where it's just like really uncomfortable, you just block them. You just do it on every form you can. You just block them and forget about them.
See, someone with some fucking sense. I see so many people literally just go, oh, I don't want to block them. I think that's bad roleplay. Like, fucking just block them. They can be number one on your block list, and that should mean something to them because they're number one to you on your block list.
Witness protection program.
Yeah, it's what it's fucking there for. Right, Val? Val keeps fucking stalking me. It's getting weird. Answer the question. What are your thoughts?
Well, if it happens in game, like take as many screenshots as possible, and if they won't stop, you need to report the person and block them and report it to ANET as soon as possible. Because there's far too many people that I know that are too shy to block and report people, and they need to stand up for themselves and do this. And it kind of goes back to like just internet etiquette. I think a lot of the younger generation doesn't get taught it, or they don't understand it. Don't give out your real life address or your place of employment to somebody over the internet.
Don't say that.
Just don't.
Ryan was literally just about to give me his credit card information before you said that.
You think I have money?
Yeah. If that person's stalking you in real life, you need to contact the police and file a report, get a restraining order. You need to do those
before
things.
Anybody thinks that Val is overreacting, we actually had a case of that in the PAC 53rd not too long ago, like 4 or 5 months ago. That actually happened. So that's a thing. That's good advice she just said.
Yeah.
Val is a smart woman, mostly.
She's smarter than me.
I have the Bryans.
You have a large Brian. And a nice rack. All right, Drake, what do you think? Or did you already answer?
I answered, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did answer.
Completely agree. Make sure you protect yourself.
Okay. Yeah, wrap it up. Don't be a fool, Raptor tool.
And now to end the podcast for no apparent reason.
Shut up. So I deciphered Colonna's third question finally.
Oh, did you?
It's if complaints are brought up against, a member of a guild who also happens to have like a significant other ICLE in the guild, should there be, I'm assuming that's what she means, should there be steps taken to keep that other person from hearing rumors or what the report is, or that the other person is having a complaint brought up to kind of avoid like an ICOC drama? Which I think the answer, as any guild leader, is yes. Nobody needs to know about anybody being reported other than the officers.
Yeah, no airing dirty laundry, so to speak. But I also think that in the guild rules, you should also have multiple means of contact for all your officers. Like for us in the 53rd, we have at least 3 different methods of contact, whether it's in-game whispers, mail, engine mail, Discord, Skype. Like there is no excuse to not be able to reach an officer. And there's no excuse to let icy things boil over to where they affect you out of character too. Like if you have an issue, like speak up right away. Don't let it fester and boil, because a lot of times it's a misunderstanding. From the numerous guilds that I've been in, most of the hiccups and explosions have just been misunderstandings and people, because tone does not convey in text well at all, and it's just as simple as that.
Yeah, I'd have to completely agree. You just have to make sure your officer and your guild leader are very transparent and upfront with being able to be approached and being able to be talked to about this sort of thing, so you can handle it diplomatically without it boiling over into guild chat or Skype chat or wherever you have your other chat, I guess. But you just need to be very
super chat.
Yeah, I mean, she pretty much did a great job with explaining it.
Well, that's what Val do. That's why we bring her on board.
Mama Val.
So she'll rant for like 20 minutes and I don't have to do anything.
Well, Kelowna just clarified her question a little bit.
Well, why don't you go ahead and read it, Val? Because I can't trust Lion to do a fucking thing around here.
She goes, more of, should guilds have steps in place for allowing means of members to report that kind of problem, like responsible or just fingers in the ears and ignore under the banner of quote-unquote folks playing should police themselves? I think it kind of...
How is that a relationship question?
Well, with how relationships affect guilds. I think if the 2 people can't sort out their problem on their own, and it starts to bleed into the out of character creeper stalker stage, then yeah, they should probably notify the guild too. That way they're aware of what the person is doing. Again, screenshots are very, 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 very helpful. And so then they can, because like for us, if we don't tolerate that. If there's proof and that you've been harassing somebody, normally we have a 3-strike policy, but for harassment we don't. Guild should be a safe place for everybody, and if you're going around harassing, stalking, or otherwise making people uncomfortable, we don't want you.
Oh, fucking Val with the fucking 3-pronged snap, the fingers. You go, girl.
In the shape of a Z.
See, I had something similar in when I was playing in the Old Republic, like stuff like that would happen. I had a girl message me because I was an officer at the time, basically saying, I feel really uncomfortable with the relationship my character's in. I see this guy is getting really weird and asking all these weird questions and getting like really mad at me, Sealy, which is again why you shouldn't get your characters involved like that, because people be crazy. But I mean, at the same time, yeah, basically what Val said. She's so smart, and she now has Lion's job. Congratulations, you don't get paid.
I don't want the job.
I don't give a fuck.
Nobody wants my job.
Right, Drake? You have anything to add?
Not in particular. She did a great job again, but
stop hitting on her.
It's just yeah, you just gotta be very clear, and you have to be able to, provide the evidence you need in order to make sure. People could just be like, oh, this person said this person said this, and that's not going to amount to anything. You got to have screenshots and just some sort of order in place, so where if something like this does come up, you could be like, all right, this isn't allowed. See you later.
Yeah, I honestly think, and this is the way I generally do things when problems like this come up, is the officer who deals with it can't be like trying to be friendly, because if that's harassment, that's a serious problem. You go in, put your dick on the table, and say, okay, somebody's cucking around. It needs to fucking stop. Who's doing what? I want evidence. Here's what's happening. Okay, you did this. Okay, here's your fucking penalty. Either you get removed, you get banned, but don't do this shit again. And you need to be firm, and you need to be loud about it. Well, not screaming, but you have to be like very strong. You have to strong-willed judgment. Hit them with your penis.
I definitely agree.
That's why I'm around. All right. I guess I'll just carry the podcast again.
Yeah.
I think
You got
it's
a strong
about
back.
that time that we talk about the elephant in the room. ERP. We got to talk about ERP.
It's sticky.
It is sticky and it's terrible, and I hate that it exists. Erotic roleplay, ERP. ERP. We have to talk about policies and how people in this podcast do it. Drake, you go first because I want to ERP with you and I want to know how to get myself ready for.
All right. Well, I think
Spread them cheeks.
that is another thing that has to be discussed before you get into it, because some people are comfortable with it, some people aren't. And after discussing it, I originally thought ERP meant excellent roleplay, so this is kind of news to me, but I'm just kidding.
I never had any of that.
He's just sweating like shit.
No, but I mean, you just have to do that in private, and if that's your thing, you just do it,
Drake,
where other people don't see it.
I fucking love you. That was good. That was good. Lion, I'm gonna ask you this because your character's dick gets a whole guild into trouble recently. What do you think?
ERP's all right. I do
it. No shame. Absolutely no shame.
Why should I be ashamed of who I am? Yeah, I get laid on the internet. Woo.
Those poor men posing as women on the other side of those computer screens.
Yeah. Little that they know they fucked themselves.
They got cucked. Val, go ahead. Answer the question.
The ERP one?
Yes, the ERP one. The only one I've asked in the last 5 minutes.
Sorry, man. Jeez. Getting all kinds of chatter elsewhere. Anyway, I don't know. It really depends on the person. If that's your thing, like Drake said, you need to, work talk ahead of time and figure out exactly what kind of ERP you're wanting to do and what you expect. Oh my goodness, child.
Even Tommy's just like, what?
As Tommy derails the podcast. Anyway, yeah, it's just communication. And, I don't know, in my opinion, if you're going to RP, I mean, obviously keep it in private channels, but if you're going to do it, at least put some effort into it and write it well.
Well, what's your policy, Val? How do you ERP?
I don't ERP.
That's true.
I used to, not anymore.
I don't either, and because, I mean, we can go back and forth because our characters are in a relationship. I don't, because like when they first entered one, because it's a huge waste of fucking time. You're sitting there for hours and it's fucking boring. B, it's fucking boring. And C, I'm usually in a relationship in real life, and when that happens, when I'm in a real relationship, I feel bad. Genuinely guilty. Call me cheesy, but I feel like this is almost bad. And I did that, and I haven't done it in years.
So bad,
5 years.
So good.
Shut up, Lion. Nobody cares.
Oh.
But again, the big point is it's fucking boring. It takes forever. I hate it. I wish it didn't exist. I hate that there are fucking huge groups of people who are crazy into it. Fucking just why? Just take it all away. Get it all away from me. I don't want any of it near me. This is why I don't roleplay with people. Goddamn plebeians.
Well, especially from a female perspective, if your characters are doing the traditional missionary, there's only so many ways a female can be like, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
I mean, I can only describe my own tiny penis in so many words, other than absurdly small.
Microscopic.
Oh, I got a new word. Who's left? I guess that's all the questions. Well, I like to open this segment up to roleplay stories, like the very end of the podcast. If anyone has any horror stories or just anything of note on the particular subject, I understand if nobody wants to share one because this one's particularly personal.
I got one. It's not mine, but it's a friend we know well, Ronzo. And I'm not going to put his name out there because...
Is it Kale? I bet it's Kale.
It's fucking Kale.
Go ahead.
If he ERPs regularly, and we give him shit about it. But the thing he does, if he finds that the partner is not to his satisfaction, he will derail it to the point to where he plays that a Tyrannosaurus Rex bursts from his pants and shit like that. And he's
we have a word for that.
He's a local hero.
I was gonna say we have a word for people like that, and it's fucking hero.
Not all heroes wear capes or pants.
You have any stories you want to say, Drake?
I'm trying to think
about Drake.
Let's see. I don't really have any horror stories or anything like that. I've played some female characters, some male characters who have both been in that sort of situation, and there's nothing. You know, you always kind of get the creepy guys, especially if you're playing like on a female character who are just like way too forward with what they want. Or there's always that the lovely tall Norn female that is always hanging around whispering people weird things, which is also always creepy.
That's good. I like that one. I had one in Lord of the Rings. This is my turn for a story. It's not gonna be a super long one, but like last week, my story is Lord of the Rings Online when somebody tried to kidnap my character, tie him to a table, and then put a candle in his butt. And then I stopped playing Lord of the Rings Online.
That's where you draw the line.
I drew the line right there. Like I was cool with the candle and everything, but chaining me up to do it, like I would have put it in myself. Yeah. And the fact that they didn't let me just upset me, so I left the game. I wasn't a fan of that.
Only a singular candle? Get good.
Yeah, it was a whole chandelier. You're right. All right, Val. Time for something embarrassing.
I don't have any stories.
I mean, there's Tommy.
Yeah, I just keep getting derailed by Tommy.
Oh my god. Fucking pin $20 to his chest, put him on the sidewalk, and wish him the best of luck. All right, well, since there's nothing left, we're gonna call it soon. Drake, do you have any events or anything you want to plug or guilds or anything you want to plug before we call it?
Don't forget about Drake.
What? Are we forgetting about me? Is that what?
I could never forget about you.
It's a play on Dre.
Oh, I get you.
Shut up.
No, not really. I mean, if you're interested, tearing the cord, always welcoming people, new players, role players, old players, all sorts of players. But otherwise, that's about it. Thanks for having me. It was tons of fun.
All right. Anything you want to plug, Val?
No.
Kid's mouth.
Pretty much. And put mittens on him so he can't throw his toys around. I'm thinking for the 53rd soon, we're probably gonna do some public patrol events.
That's Pack 53rd at engine.com.
Yeah. So
53rd, the number, not the word. For people who can't spell real good, like lion. Literally, specifically, we did that for lion.
English is good.
All right, well, that's the podcast. Join us next week where the topic is things that stump Trump. Spoilers, the answer is nothing.
It's going to be a short one. It's going to be a short one.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Shorter than Ronzo's dick.
Nothing shorter than that.